Hello, and welcome to another English unit of the week. And today we're taking a look at the Russian ZIS-2 anti-tank gun. In 1940, the Soviet Union was preparing with a potential war with Germany if that was to so happen to come by. Well, they thought that if the Germans were to invade, they would probably have some heavy tanks. The Russians were using some heavy tanks at this time, and the Germans were experimenting with some heavy tanks, such as weird multi-turret monster, which I cannot pronounce, which they only made like 6 of. Anyway, they needed an anti-tank gun that could deal with these potential heavy tanks during this potential invasion. So they come up with the ZIS-2. The 57mm shell was the perfect characteristics for a high-velocity, armor-piercing shell, and it entered into production in 1941. It had built just over 300 of these guns, and then they would stop production by December of the same year. The reason being is that during the actual invasion, when the Germans were moving in with all their panzers, the ZIS-2 could penetrate the tanks. But they were a little bit too good in penetration characteristics. They over-penetrated. The shell would just go right through the tank and do no actual damage to all the squishy bits inside of it. The 45mm and the ZIS-3 guns were performing adequately, and so the ZIS-2 wasn't really needed. So they just halt production and pretty much take it off the front lines. It wasn't until later on in the war, when the Germans actually developed heavy tanks, such as Tigers and Panthers, when the ZIS-2 gun was kind of needed again, and it would enter in production in 1943 during the summer, and pretty much be produced all the way till the end of the war with over 9,000 models. In-game, the ZIS-2 is a 55-point anti-tank gun, available to 2nd Guard Tank Corps, 29th Tank Corps, 3rd Guard Mechanite Corps, Group Turania, and 9th Guard Cavalry, and it has one weapon. And surprise surprise, its weapon is the ZIS-2 cannon. You have 6 APCR shells and 44 regular AP shells. APCR shells are actually not that bad because it has the same accuracy compared to the regular ammunition, and it does much more penetration, 185mm, but only 1 damage on said penetration, meaning it's much less likely that you're going to blow up enemy tanks when you go through their armor. The regular AP shells are weaker, 120mm pen, but you do 5 damage, so much more likely to make tanks go kaboom. 50% accuracy across the board is great, 2km range, and also you have 12 rounds a minute fire rate, which is pretty much the same compared to the smaller Russian 45mm. So it's a Russian 6-pounder essentially. And if we pop down to its miscellaneous stat, it is a 5-man team with good optics, medium stealth, and light cargo space. In battle, the ZIS-2 is a Russian 6-pounder. It's a pretty powerful anti-tank gun that has a high rate of fire. The regular AP shells are more than enough to deal with German medium tanks, and the APCR shells are great at popping open Panthers and Tigers. I do highly recommend to turn off the APCR shells, as the gun will shoot them first, and you don't want to be racing at expensive ammunition on Panzer II Luxes, for example. So it is a great gun, but it's not really a great unit, and that's not due to the unit, but due to the divisions that you get them in. Because you see, the Russians decided to put their heavy anti-tank guns at this time not with their infantry divisions, which could use them, but more of their mechanized and tank divisions. As you notice, all the divisions that get this are mechanized or tank or mobile divisions. And in those divisions, you already got good anti-tank in terms of your tanks, such as T-3485s or IS-2s, which you could arguably say are better due to a higher average penetration. And also those divisions are mobile, so having a static anti-tank gun isn't as useful. It's good for defending an area, but most of the time you're wanting to move around and flank and attack and all that good stuff. Where divisions that could use this gun, such as all the Russian infantry divisions, usually only have ZIS-3 cannons, which are pretty pants in terms of the anti-tank department. And if this gun was with those divisions, it'd be really worthwhile, and honestly I think you'd see it in use much more often. But because you get it in mechanized and tank divisions, don't really need static AT weaponry, the ZIS-2 just kind of falls off to the race side. It does have pretty decent availability with a 3, 6, 9 through A, B, and C phase. Most divisions only get A and B phase cards, not many get C phase cards of ZIS-2s. I think that's to represent the lower availability of the ZIS-2 gun at this time. There wasn't as many issued out to Russian divisions or corps, I should say. But yeah, it's a good anti-tank gun, but it's just not really needed in most situations. And well, I'm going to leave it off at that. This has been another Rank Rouge unit of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as usual, please just take it easy.